Have you recently been involved in some kind of gardening or plant-based activity? If you or anyone you know has fallen victim to some expired green noodle, you may be entitled to some form of compensation today. That's right, if your cards have been destroyed through multiple disruptions with a follow-up Pot of Greed and special summon, call us today, the Ojama Law Firm, on 042069. Cry about it. And remember, just because you did it, doesn't mean you're guilty.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that part of the year again when the content is free and you, the audience, are stupid. Imperial Order to 3 so we can play around it more. Recently, a Hakuna Matata video came out, which I highly recommend for his amazing content with mathematical and statistical analysis of the meta. A great resource for anyone moderately engaged in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In this video, he pointed out that 29% of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players do not trust Yugi-Tuber opinions. 29%. What is this, Congress? Why don't you trust us? Oh, the Yugi-Tuber community voted for me. Yes, Farfa, the most trusted source of Banlist predictions. So today I will take extra care and give you something a little more carefully thought out without any traces of neurological parasites. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. What's that? Dragons, still around, huh? Through all forms of iterations and combos. Metas, we're still locking ourselves into dark dragons. LP, been a while since I heard that name. Yeah, I used to special from the main deck many times over the course of a tournament. Look at me now. Time waits for no one. This video wouldn't be possible without today's sponsor of Friends and Dragons, a free-to-play strategy RPG game available for download now on the Play Store and Apple Store for your mobile device. Download today using this nifty hinky-dinky QR code tool here, redirecting you, or by using my link in the description down below. Friends and Dragons is unique, based in a rich fantasy RPG world that you and your friend in co-op mode together can traverse, collecting and upgrading your powerful, strong set. Join the guild Poliz Gang and socialize with friends in rewarding tough challenges. Download Friends and Dragons from my links or scan the QR code on the screen and get a special starter pack, a rare mythic summoning scroll for a guaranteed 4-star hero with 10% chance for a 5-star, or premium summoning scroll, 500 gems, talent tokens, gold and XP to level up your heroes and the town. Don't want to miss out. Going from bottom to top, let's begin with the unlimited cards, and I think it's quite fair to say, at least in the TCG, the semi-limited section is mostly used as a quarantine zone. You know, where the High King, Doom Lord, Alpha, Delta, Omicron variants of cards go to chill and quarantine before Konami realize, oh, this is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
With Pendulum experiencing the success of a singular top cut spot in an official online regional size tournament piloted by one guy who has literally not stopped playing this deck for 4 years, potentially I think it's the same list as well for the same 4 years, at least the side deck, goes to show that the likes of Double Iris was more than okay to creep up from banned to 3, as should happen with Skull Kerbat Joker. Alongside this should be the Scottish danger monster Nessie. Dangers are played in pretty much no competitive decks right now, and while a slippery slope and not something you want to rush, because when these cards are good, oh boy are they good. I think it's a safe prediction for Nessie to return to 3 now. A couple of cards that I would put to 3 without really worrying about would be Cyberstein, Infernity Archfiend, Red Eyes Darkness Meadow Dragon. There's plenty of other cards I would honestly consider too, like if Time Seal comes to 3 tomorrow, is anyone gonna be all, you know, oh! Anyway, there's also potentially a world where Tsuchinoko goes to 2 instead of Nessie to 3, just so there's a bit more of a linear progression of each of the danger monsters. This is something that would help Phantom Knight out a lot, considering how that deck has surprisingly been pretty terrible. But then again, they are getting the racist engine, so maybe that deck doesn't actually need any help. The final semi-limit I can honestly see happening is Salamangreat Circle to 2. Following the same PCR test quarantine we've been through with the semi-limited section, there is a world where Salamangreat get one more copy of Gazelle before slowly moving further and further up the list, like they did with Stalio, which, to be honest, was arguably more relevant than the circle to 2 would be. So might as well just give them a little bit more consistency. And now the limited to 1 section, and we'll begin with the most controversial deck of the format, I believe, and that is Lyrilusc Tri-brigade. A deck which spends 10 minutes jerking itself off to end on multiple Omni negates that only lose to multiple combinations of completely broken going second equalizer cards, or infinite hand traps. While not completely dominating the YCS, it took up a significant portion in Europe and proving to be a formidable, powerful deck. So you see, you could hit the Tri-brigade cards like, for example, Fractal to 1, which doesn't stop the Tugboat combo. It just makes it less consistent. And consistency is generally a kind of poor way to hit combo decks because you aren't stopping the bullshit, you're just making it happen 7% less often. Now, I'm personally a big fan of Tri-brigade. I think it's a great, healthy, mid-range deck that works well for new players as well as veteran players alike to learn and pick up the game and just have something a little bit more interactive. So really, I think the problem cards are the Lyriluscs, which are providing these Omni Negate end boards, and Recital to 1 is kind of a correct way to deal with this deck because nobody wants to sit and watch someone play with themselves all day, and the end board that says no to almost any card in the game. It changes a lot of the combo lines, removes consistency but not in a bad way, while also weakening the end board, something which I think the deck could use, which Starling to 1 I think offers in almost all of these aspects. Next deck you want to kind of talk about is Sword Soul. While taking a commanding 40% of the top cut spots in North America as well as about a third in Europe, it's a really difficult deck to deal with because generally Konami don't hit brand new product so soon during a ban list. Because of the financial implications, I think the most realistic hit would be something a bit more indirect, considering how the most popular dominating version of Sword Soul so far has been the 10-yi version. I think maybe something like banning Protoss or limiting Ashuna would be the right way to go about this. Banning Protoss sounds great, right? But you guys know how stubborn Konami can be when it comes to floodgates, so I think maybe, just Ashuna, that's pretty much it. Sorry, I wish they could do a little bit more to this deck, but like I said, I don't really see them hitting a new product so soon. My final limitation, I promise this isn't any bias or anything, it's just, you know, if you've seen the new combos, you know what I'm talking about when we're saying Invoked is an issue. Unlike Burning Abyss, this 4,000-year-old fossil deck is actually doing well, and considering how in the North American YCS it was the second most represented deck in all of Top Cut, I mean, I suppose that maybe says more about Americans than it does Invoked. Meltdown to 1. I don't really need to say anything that hasn't already been said about this. I suppose it's particularly worse now because on Summon of DPE, you can activate the effect to destroy a card your opponent controls, and they can't respond to it. Pretty neat, but it's a long time regardless. This engine, I think, really just needs to step aside. And now time for the big one. Forbidden. When the order is Imperial. This card has been on my forbidden section for a while now, and prediction-wise, I still can't really see it happening because for some reason they love this card. As we saw from the feature matches, this card is universally hated and just a terrible card for the game that shuts down a third of the mechanics. The spell card, which, yeah, nothing else to say about this. Ban it. Also, alongside this, Mystic Mine. Yep. Another engine, I suppose, that's all on your minds is, are we gonna hit Fusion Destiny, Dragoon, Verte, DPE, your mom? Why does everyone think this new hero card gonna be the next Dragoon? He doesn't even have a negate that boosts attack, nor does he have a double ball burning pop effect. True, it is actually in fact a different card. People just trying to hype this up new card, or are they dumb? It's still not even as close as powerful. Watch it flop like War Rocks. Comments that aged like milk receiving a suntan. Now, obviously, the problem card is Verte. Although, my personal hot take is that I think it's actually kind of good for the game right now because it gives a lot of rogue decks some options. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to top a triple nerfed Adamancipator regional without the power of the DPE engine. I'm just going to be honest with you. Konami, on the other hand, probably do recognize that this card is an issue, but there's an Albaz structure deck coming out which has branded fusion, and that is also doing some things in the OCG, I think, soon. So, financially,
Product-wise, I don't think it's going to be this ban list, unfortunately. We're going to have to be sticking with this for one more format. And plus, I don't want to piss off all the hero players like they did in OCG by just straight up banning Fusion Destiny. So to recap and summarize, we are banning Order, Mine, Alistair. We are limiting Starling, Ashina, and Magical Meltdown. Semi-limiting Salmon Great Circle. And unlimiting to 3 Nessie and the Joker, baby. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you learned from the most trusted Yugi tuber. I have Table 500 on the 26th of December. That's right, Boxing Day. Tune in live at 6 p.m. UK for your Table 500. Send in the replays to FarfaYGO@gmail.com. See you there. Okay, bye. 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 Bye.